Hey, good boy, Angel here, 3v3, Angel Gate, blue team. Dark Riku is a Kommando nob, infiltrating commander that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orks style begins range combat with a twin link shooter. Alongside is Floid as a Lictor Alpha, a melee specialist that can infiltrate and disrupt with some awesome offense and a little bit of support too. And he's probably going to venture forth and try and annoy something. And rounding off the blue team, HansMoleman is an Eldar Warlock, a melee commander that can leap into combat, some awesome disruption and mobility, and some pretty decent offense too. Fighting against big Mathis at the bottom, who's a force commander, very good offense, fights in melee combat, plus a tank, disrupt and support with buffs. Those scouts just about getting away. That was a sweet destructor, and I believe this is the Black Templars elite scheme. Alongside big Mathis is Redbeard as a plague champion, starts off range combat with the damage of a time bolter, can get melee weapons, some decent utility and support, can build turrets and repair, but is very slow and escapes the Lictor Alpha into that garrison. Rounded off the team's final push as a Techmarine starts out range combat, puts down some good damage, can also support with structures and repair and wade into melee combat. Final push is capping, no, who's this capping top? That's Dark Riku capping top. Final push going to go and have a word, I believe. Lictor Alpha has stalked forward to decap red team's natural, and here comes a bunch of chaos stuff to persuade him to leave. Looks like he is going to back the hell off here. Infiltrates, and now they can't see him. Doesn't have a lot of energy to infiltrate though, and he's run out of energy there. Getting shot down. Final push, asking Redbeard to go top, and power is being bashed by Dark Riku as double shooters up right there. No upgrades yet. What has he spent power on then? Nothing, I guess. They just got their gens up, I believe. Here comes double CSM, tactical marines and a plague champion. That's a lot of shooty power. Tough shooty power as well. Get all this stuff behind cover, and it's not easy to dislodge. Kommando though does have the stun bomb, and he's sneaking around to use it, and that is going to be a superb stun bomb, getting all of that stuff. Look at that, trying to focus fire down the plague champion. I tell you, if you're out of cover and double shooters are shooting at you, it's pain no matter what you are. These guys with big shooters, and here come heretics flanking in. That could be really nasty for Dark Riku. Gonna lose shooter boys, and those guys had the big shooters as well. Did not spot those heretics quickly enough, and he had those CSM in melee as well. Could have backed off a little bit sooner with those CSM coming in. I think he was trying to drop a model and then retreat out, but just couldn't quite do it. Double termagants alongside Warrior Brood. Now that's strange. Warrior Brood have the yellow hexagon, which is the marker for the synapse feedback thing, but they shouldn't have that until they get adrenal glands, I believe. 500, 437. Does it work all the time? I thought it was only with their adrenal glands. Gives them, I think, 1.5% more damage for each termagant and formagant within synapse range, which is pretty nice alongside their improved damage in melee with adrenal glands. Now up to 30 DPS heavy melee from 23, I believe it was. So you can get them up to around about 45 DPS if you have a whole bunch of termagants and formagants. Forcing off those CSM there. Red team need to get some power up on this mid-natural. They have 2 gens on their corner natural, but blue have the southwest powers up. Rangers on the field for HansMoleman and some Howling Banshees prowling towards the top with this Harlequin elite scheme. 484, 429. Sluggers getting shot down by the plague champion, but they don't lose a model. Look at that. Oh, they do. Well, maybe they lost it earlier. Flesh hook. Plague champion can deal with the flesh hook reasonably well. Can get fetid up quickly and just hit Unholy Stench whenever he gets flesh hooked, meaning that stuff can't chase him down like this. He might go down here. 35 hit points should get away, or in tier 2 of course he can get the Armor of Pestilence, which means the flesh hook can't hook him, just does damage, and then he looks at you funny. Raptors on the field for Redbeard. Double CSM into Raptors can be a very powerful offensive build, especially if you use your CSM in melee right. Double, triple snipers from Final push. That's a hell of a lot of burst damage going on the red team. Look at those two sneaky blue team commanders though, kicking off towards the bottom of the map. Grenades on retreating Space Marines, doesn't quite hit it. Barb Strangle Warriors doing work. Banshees catching the Force Commander in retreat. Or whatever they'd be in Harlequins, no idea. Force Commander of Mathis with the Chainsword and Storm Shield, as you saw. Lictor Alpha and Kommando are terrorizing these snipers here. Might want to get a sergeant up on one of those guys. We do have an aspiring champion Heretic for Redbeard, which will detect, but final push could do with one of his own, I believe. Lictor Alpha in retreat, but look at his stuff, backing it up, flanking outwards from the middle, I should say. Just how they, ouch, are doing so good against this power. Can they get the gens down again? Does the Techmarine get away from that? I think he should, and surely they're going to go after the power here. Heretics with double tactical marines joining the fight from Mathis and some Devastators. I don't think they're going to get those gens again. 448, 412. They are holding up this army though and capping the northeast contested VP. What's this? Scouts on capping duty, but they're taking Ranger shots. Rangers, of course, rebalanced in 2.4.2, which is what this is. No longer will they deal 75 courage damage out the gate. They now require the Pathfinder gear, as you see here, which tells you on the tooltip, which is nice. Kommando being sneaky. Raptors are going to jump the Barb Strangle Warriors. Are they? No. Jumping into the Hormagaunts. These guys do have adrenal glands and no pushover, and Lictor Alpha is right there. Raptors are surely going to drop a model Banshees in amongst the CSM, and now Raptors caught in retreat. Banshees now doing again full damage on retreating units since they can't chase nearly as well with their leap, but down go those Raptors. You saw the work those Banshees did with those few hits they get in. So Redbeard, I guess, is just going to go tier 2 now. Yep. Zone throw already on the way for Floyd. 447, 363. That was Distort Field on the Howling Banshees, and I believe we see Cloak of Shadows as well. Those guys are pretty much immune to range damage when you stack up those two buffs. Very, very powerful combo, and if you can get Seer Council alongside, that's with that passive range damage resistance they now provide. No longer they provide the courage damage resistance though, which was pretty damn annoying. Suppression immune Banshees and Seer Council before when you use the Cloak of Shadows, I think. Hormagaunt Brood getting the Endless Swarm. These guys are going to be running around with 10 little models full of teeth and claws. Does he have pheromones? What does he have, the Lictor Alpha? Nothing at all, in fact. Double Zone Throats of Floyd. Wraithguard on the way for HansMoleman. Haven't seen the Wraithguard in action all that much in 2.4. Looking forward to see them, how they settle in now that they can fire on a move, but got a whole bunch of nerfs to compensate for that. Banshees in amongst Tactical Marines. The Force Commander is there, and he does improve damage with a Chainsword. It's not to be discounted. Still has his battle cry, of course, as well, but didn't use it there. Tactical Marines just about getting away. The Banshees cannot chase them nearly as good as they could before, and they do get away there. Lictor Alpha gets up his adrenal glands, and Scything Talons on the way. They're a power weapon which allows you to disrupt and suppress nearby units with a special attack ability kind of thing. I think that was buffed. The special attack now does more damage. The weapon itself does like 81 power melee. Good grief. 427, 355. Plague Champion goes down. It might be time for him to get some war gear going on that Plague Champion, because he's kind of being bullied by these Tyranids right now. I'm sure Icon of Nurgle, Pestilence and Fist would put them in their place a little bit. Cloud stuck, says Redbeard. Looks like he was trying to use Noxious Cloud and he got stuck on something. Big Mathis with triple Tactical Marines and Devastators. Got the whole of the second company alongside him, I think. Chaos Heretics, Aspiring Champion, and Grenade Launchers. That's interesting. Did not keep the Doom Blast to stop those Hormigons eating stuff. I suppose the disruption for the double Termagants and the Warrior Brood is pretty damn good too. Zoanthrope using Eldar technology to double Zoanthropes right there, in fact. And here come the Wraith Guard. Now they're a lot slower, even with the Warlock Leader, or a Spirit Seer as I believe they're called in the fluff. And look at this, blue team are just hanging out, waiting for red team to take the move like vultures. Capillary towers all over, not being destroyed. Flesh Hook setting up a Heretic wipe, I believe. Can the Lictor ever get one more hit there? Yes, and gets a sync kill. You saw all of those Heretic models dying. That's because the Aspiring Champion for the Heretics is a die last squad leader. A mechanic in Dawn of War 2 to help preserve those squad leaders in Tier 1, especially if they are detectors. 427, 294. Some stun bombs from the stick bombers of Dark Riku, and he's going Tier 3 with a light army. Stick bombers straight into Tier 3 there. Oh, the Barb Strangler hit before he could use the fend. It's all kicking off. Bloodletters coming into melee combat. Uh-oh, there's Ethereal Slash though, and that absolutely wrecked them. Good grief. He was ready for that. Are they going to lose one of the Bloodletters there? Nope, looks like they're going to get away. Let's see this Wraith Guard. They have a longer wind-up on their weapons now. Still doing work. Banshee's in amongst. There's a grenade. Really smart play from Hans. He's combining his forces really well here. Redbeard a little bit flat-footed, a little bit static. Doesn't have nearly the mobility that an Eldar army has, of course. 427, 260. Big Mathis with the Sacred Standard now up. The support force commander, I suppose. Sacred Standard and the Chainsaw the Store Shield gives him a lot of support. Artificer to make him tougher too. It doesn't say here, but I believe that Storm Shield also gives the Force Commander an inherent 20% resistance to range damage for himself without even using the Fend. 427, 260, unless that was removed at some point. Also increases his health slightly. Does it say that there? Yeah, health by 100. Drop pod used by Mathis. Just the... Did he get these tax out of it? Did he lose tax and get some more? He might have. Oh no, these guys have a plasma gun already. That was just a drop pod from the Force Commander himself, I believe, to get those reinforcements. There's another drop pod at base. 411, 260. Double, sorry, 2-1 for red team. They've been pinned back, but they've had that top VP for a while. Only now Termagants are decapping it. Trying to be careful with those double Zoanthropes. Snipers doing a really good job against Zoanthropes in general. And they almost went down. In fact, they do go down. I believe it was the Tactical Marines finishing it off. And now this one's being shot down. Free needs to be careful. Doesn't want to lose both of these Zoanthropes in the same engagement. 403, 260, but he's got into tier 3. It's a very strong tier 2. Just double Zoanthropes in team games. Allows you to cruise to tier 3 a lot of the time. Dark Riku has Knob Squad on the field. These guys got a buff. Their Knob Leader, the Knob Leader of the Knobs, the superest Knob ever, now has 200 more health. That's a 1050 hit point model, that guy, up from 850 on a single squad leader. That is pretty nuts. So yeah, nice buff for the Knobs. 403, 242, a 2-1 cap for blue team. Red team putting pressure on their natural though. Well, here come that Wraith Guard. Now dealing less damage and less courage damage. A bit more important, that I think. The fact that they can't suppress you in a single volley now is a pretty big deal. Redbeard, I think. Oh, that's a beautiful grenade. Wipes out a full squad. No, I think they just about got away. Yes, they did. Marco Zinch on those guys as well. Redbeard didn't want to lose them. I thought that was the perfect grenade. Bloodletters in amongst the Wraith Guard, but Ethereal Slash is right there. Retreats in time. Assault Marines jumping in. It's all kicking off. There's a weird boy. We might see the warpath on this guy to allow those Knobs to run really fast. So you might just throw them into combat with over there. Everyone tier 3 now, or going tier 3, apart from Mathis. And he's got a lot of resources. What is he waiting for? Does he want a Dreadnought instead? 282, 232. He goes tier 3. Are we going to see a Land Raider Redeemer from Final Push, or indeed Mathis? Those things are always big game changers in team games. If you can stay, as a Space Marine player, if you can stay solid and get your Land Raider up in a timely fashion, you're generally doing pretty well for your team in a team game. 366, 232 double-blooded letters are still around. Have they leveled? Nope. Plasma cannon spools up and misses everything. Double Dire Avengers, both not fully upgraded. One squad doesn't have the X-Arc. Plasma cannon shot, hits terrain, does nothing. 355, 232. Zone Thrope is level 2 there for Floyd. He's got nothing up in... Oh, he's going for the Swarm Lord. Swarm Lord got a damage buff in 2.4.1, I believe. Big standoff across this central road of Angel Gate. Big Mathis going all the way to the top now. And those are Vanguard veterans for Final Push. Zone Thrope doesn't want to see those guys, that's for sure. If they can jump that Zone Thrope, get a few hits before retreat and keep hitting, it's basically dead out. Stick bombs against Sniper Scouts, not a good mix. One squad did not even lose a model, the other one down to 1. Here comes the Nob squad. Does not have the Nob leader though, so you don't see the buff Nob leader right now. Shotgun blast and Devastator's coming into play, but there's the Frenzy. And a drop pod. I thought it was going to be a Venerable. I was looking forward to a Venerable, but it was just a normal drop pod from the Techmarine. Nob squad in amongst Space Marines here, and those are the huge hammers buffing their damage. It's called momentum. You see those rings. I believe they can get up to 4 rings, increasing their damage each time. And I believe it's on a per model basis as well. Lictor Alpha and Warlock on capping duty. That's a pretty annoying 3 commanders to fight against. Warlock, Lictor Alpha and Kommando. Throw in a Warp Spider X-Arc and in this kind of 4v4 situation, and you might as well just concede. So 1-to-1, VPs are pretty close, 100 VPs in it, that's not a whole lot. Constant action now, pretty much from midway through tier 2, it's been constant fighting in the mid. Nobody's had that really good big engagement that's completely ruined a player's army yet. We've seen losses. Raptors went down, a Zone Throat went down, Sluggers from Riku went down at some point. That's pretty much it, I think. Double Fire Prisms from Hans. Looking supremely colourful. Good choice against the CSM, but I'm not sure about getting 2 of them. I would have saved for an Avatar myself. The big soup units do so good on this map, since they can run in, wreck stuff, and then run back to base, which generally isn't that far away. Same deal for Terminators, of course. 315, 216. Kommandant's running into trouble. Floyd not paying attention. Bunch of XP for Mathis's army there. Blue team having a go at the power, are they? Double Termagants up here, getting shot up though. Is that double markers each? I believe it is, yep. So Fire Prism. Oh, and he cancelled the other Fire Prism Hands. So it looks like he is going for the Avatar, in fact. 313, 214, double looted tanks for Riku. Do the Nobs have their Nob leader? No, they do not. So 2-to-1. Weird Boy, wow, getting an awesome shot on those Tactical Marines. And there's the Mega Boom Shot type thing. Actually knocked back the allied Nobs there. These guys have almost leveled. Mathis, though, basically trying to take on 2 armies, retreats out. And why not? Your base is right there. 313, 196. Final Push drops a Venerable. Here it is. Unique Walker to the Techmarine. 1750 hit points and improved melee damage over a standard Dreadnought. Can also charge which is a big deal for a melee dreadnought since they generally lack mobility pretty badly. Most players, I think, save it to try and get this guy out of trouble rather than charging into combat. I've always said it would be nice to see the charge get a reduction in energy cost perhaps, so you can use it more often as the dreadnought levels up. 313, 178. CSM do not get away this time, and that's a nasty ethereal. Double bloodletters have really struggled to make an impact for Redbeard, and he might in fact lose a squad. How many hit points do they have? Must have had one when they started getting away there. Looted tank's gonna go down. Venerable Dreadnought getting close enough for a hit, maybe. Yes, eventually. He's gonna lose both of the looted tanks. Rear armor hit from the missile launcher. No, turns around. Smack. Venerable charging into the Ork. Does not go after the looted tank. Could have finished it off there, I think. We have a plasma gun and refractor field Techmarine. Venerable Dreadnought still chasing Orks, taking shots though from a looted tank, and now a fire prism also. Almost lost the double looted tanks there. Phobos on the way for Redbeard is looking slightly thin, has CSM and bloodletters, and that is it. So he did lose those bloodletters at some point. Grenade slightly off target there. Carnifex on the field for Floyd. What do you go for here? He's in fact just gone for the Venom Cannon straight up. He'll help against the Phobos. And against the Venerable Dreadnought, of course. Plague Champion trying to repair it. That is some supreme heresy right there. Lictor Alpha's gone down trying to decap. You see the remains of the Warrior Brood there as well. 286, 169. Whoa, so many dead Termagants. Bloodletters again, just teleporting right into trouble. Now there's a Swarm Lord to worry about. 2,000 hit points of vehicle armor on that guy, and he's pretty quick running around. 2-1 for blue. Red team need to gather themselves for a push here. There's the Phobos. So now the blue team have seen it, most likely, unless someone's not paying attention to that. Wraithguard in the bunker there. Land Red Redeemer is on the field for Big Mathis. The best support unit ever. Basically on a mobile base for your entire team to use. Can retreat back to it, can reinforce off it, and it heals you passively. And it got some nasty close range weaponry too. HansMoleman floating resources like absolutely crazy. Doesn't have the pop to get the avatar, I think. I think the avatar is 21. Just let some Dire Avengers die or something. 286, 127. Of course, Commander getting away. Yes. Might want to get the Power Fist up with 2 Land Raiders on the field and that Fire Prism. But we'll see. Sorry, the Land Raiders are on his team, you moron. The Fire Prism and that looted tank are the vehicles on the blue team. Affected by the fist anyway. Can't believe that looted tank lived. Why didn't the Dreadnought go after it? There's a Tornado formation. Ouch. I will maintain that it's a good nuke. A lot of people look down on Tornado formation as the worst nuke. I think it's pretty damn good. The delay is so short and it hurts. One-shots buildings. I think it's pretty damn good. You also get synapse buffs from it, which don't often come into play, but it's still kicking off. There's an orbital. Good grief. You saw the Venerable go down there. Looks like the Carnifex has had it. It's just about getting away. This is insane. Carnifex lives. Phobos does not live. Dark Riku taking it down with the rocket launcher. Awesome anti-vehicle weapon. It says 65 explosive damage per shot. What it means is per missile. Not per volley, per shot. A little bit confusing wording there. Yeah, 65 damage per little rocket that it shoots out. They don't always all hit, but it hurts so bad. Even if just 2 of them hit, that's 130 damage. 277, 99 on a infiltrating commander as well. Fire Prism under pressure. Triple missile launchers for Big Mathis. Looted tank did go down. We might see the frag assault. There it is. Wraithguard doing work. Needs to tie them up with the Force Squad. Is trying to do so. 27790. Here comes Knob Squad. And they now do have their Knob leader. Look at this. 4,197 hit points at level 2. And there's a Rocks. Stun bombs followed by stick bombs. Surely they can finish off this Land Raider here. Knob Squad though are chasing CSM instead of engaging it. Lictor Alpha. Does he have a... Yes, has the Menacing Visage for Terrify. 27773. Where did Knob Squad go? They're in retreat. Should have gone after that Land Raider, I think. Could have finished it off there. They're trying to whap squads instead. 27764 to 2-1 for blue team, and they're keeping up the pressure here. Redbeard with just Plague Marines and CSM can't really hold up a fight in the middle alongside his team. Wailing Doom from the Avatar finishes off the Land Raider and doing tons of damage to other stuff as well. Steel kicking off in the mid. Non-stop action here. More Plague Marines for Redbeard. Just trying to contribute late game, but they're running out of time, the red team. That's a Webway Gate over there. That's another one. Usually you see them put on the enemy team's power to bash it. Vanguard Veterans decapping top. Red team are not out of it. Here's another Land Raider from Final Push this time. And Hans has a nuke though. Nuke and Wraithguard usually means dead Land Raider. Stick Bombers capping. Plague Marines doing slightly more damage now with their bolters, but it's not enough to persuade them to leave just yet. And here come double shooters, and those guys do so much damage to infantry, and Plague Marines do count as regular infantry in terms of their armor type. There's a Nurgly nuke on the garrison. Not doing a whole lot of damage there to the unit inside it in a way. 27717. Single cap. Everyone's surprised that the Chaos Nuke is not damaging the unit inside very much there. Look how much red Final Push has. Cancelled his Land Raider. They just run out of time, I think. A single cap for blue, and they now have the double, and there is the victory for the blue team. Some frantic action. Redbeard's double bloodletters really struggling to make an impact, and I think that was a big deal because he invested quite a lot in those guys, and he just got shut down by that ethereal slash even pretty badly. 57 power melee DPS. I love that we've got all these updated tooltips now. Level 6 Lictor Alpha, level 10 Warlock, level 3 Kommando Knob. Only level 3? Such a noob, Riku. Look how much stuff died. How can he be level 3? Level 5 Techmarine, down at the end. In fact, all 3 red commanders down. Plague Champion level 4. Did he get any war gear whatsoever? I don't think he did. It's a great map for Plague Champion war gear because you're in the thick of fights so often. Your Mucus Discharge heal or your Icon of Nurgle and all sorts of things can do work for you. Force Squad level 6 with that pretty awesome support build. And down at the end also. There you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.